Tom Cruise might be back in theaters, free climbing rock face and running like a maniac at 56, doggedly defying time in the Mission Impossible role that he first embarked on an amazing 22 years ago, but he has company in the Audacity department this summer. Legal Alan Dershowitz, a free speech fetishist as well as indefatigable strategist, a man who has raised to hardball science the techniques of adversarial justice, in which truth and legally provable truth are often different matters. As a profile once described, he is as wily, bespectacled and publicity partial as ever. Lawyer Alan Dershowitz on the front porch of the Chilmark General Store on Martha's Vineyard. He has said he has been subject to McCarthy-like shunning tactics from people in his vineyard social circles for his aggressive questioning of the legitimacy of the special counsel investigation into President Donald Trump. Gabriella Herman, New York Times. At almost 80, he heads into the valley of octogenarianism next month. He looks like a senior you might see at water volleyball at the local Y, but has actually spent much of his time lately being beamed onto cable news shows. Since he took to ardently railing against the overreach of the big deal Mueller investigation, and in turn giving cover to President Trump, he has clocked close to 200 appearances on CNN, MSNBC, Fox and the like in the last year. He is, at the very least, staying true to his air quotes retirement in 2014, as he told the Boston Globe then, "My retirement consists of reducing my schedule down to only about 10 things at any given time." Read more. Article continued below. Food is celebrity chef Akira Bak's second passion. Is it just us, or could Hailey Baldwin win a Justin Bieber look-alike contest? Toronto's Hotel X gives a self-taught photographer the gig of a lifetime. What's remarkable about this latest zeitgeist climb of the one-time Harvard professor? The extent to which he, already known for defending Klaus von Bülow and O.J. Simpson, not to mention high-wattage cases like Patty Hearst, the woman who gave us the term Stockholm Syndrome, Leona Helmsley, the Queen of Mean, and Mia Farrow, more on that in a bit, among others, is a one-man jukebox of scandals past. Oh, and boldface 6 degrees. And not only because the 6 degrees cross and then cross again in the age of Trump. Did you know that O.J. was at Donald's second wedding to Marla Maples? Well, yeah, he was. Dershowitz's latest pivot. Unsurprisingly, it's made him a target of his one-time student, and now fellow telelegal jouster, Jeffrey Toobin, who has accused the one-time lion of the left of carrying water for the president. He said it right to him, on air, mid-panel, "This is not who you used to be. And you are doing this over and over again in situations that are just obviously ripe with conflict of interest. And it's just, like, what's happened with you?" In the court of public exposure, the Brooklyn native has never shied away from promoting his personal brand. Here, after all, is a man who once posed in his sonnet for people, but it all reached a fresh crescendo of absurdity recently when the self-professed liberal Democrat, who voted for Hillary Clinton, but now spends his days defending Trump, complained that he was being snubbed from dinner parties on Martha's Vineyard, where he has long summered. It was a lament that instantly became low-hanging fruit, story-wise, and resulted in a burst of coverage, including a lengthy dispatch in the New York Times from the liberal enclave long associated with the literati and the Kennedys. Naturally, the boo-hoo also turned into a social media trending item, complete with Twitter jabs aplenty. Article continued. Beloved sample snark. I had no idea that McCarthyism meant not wanting to meet Alan Dershowitz for a glass of cream at rosé on Martha's Vineyard. My sympathies, alas. Speaking of Martha's Vineyard, Dershowitz has owned dinner parties there in the past have, as he once shared with New York Magazine, included guests ranging from Yo-Yo Ma to Larry David to Harvey Weinstein. Weinstein was brought down, in part, by the investigative hustle of Ronan Farrow, whose mother Dershowitz represented in her War of the Roses battle against Woody Allen, back in the 90s. Years later, Dershowitz told another part of the story, writing in a book that Frank Sinatra, Mia's other ex, personally called him to offer help. Dershowitz wrote of that exchange, "He immediately got down to business. I love Mia. We were married, you know. She's a great girl. Woody's trying to bully her. What can I do to help?" Mindful of Sinatra's tough guy reputation, he told him he had it under control. Of course, Dershowitz wouldn't be Dershowitz without the Von Bulow case, when he represented British Stiff Claws, a one-time personal assistant to J. Paul Getty, in his successful appeal for the attempted murder of wife Sonny Von Bulow, who went into a mysterious coma in Newport, Rhode Island. A massive story at the time, it was OJ before OJ, the first such court case to be televised live. Sex, drugs, money, mistresses, revenge and briefs, it had it all. The saga was turned into a film, Reversal of Fortune, based on a book written by Dershowitz and starring Jeremy Irons as Claus, which garnered him an Oscar. In one of the more bizarro twists in that particular saga, one that succumbs to my hypotheses that everything connects when you get to a certain rung of society, Truman Capote entered a sworn statement that Sonny, his heiress friend, took amphetamines, off and on for a long time, and even taught him to use a hypodermic needle. Capote, the man who wrote Breakfast at Tiffany's and was a Mensa level bon vivant, offered the testimony on behalf of Claus. Von Bulow, amazingly, is alive, 91 and UK-based. He could conceivably have some advice to his old lawyer about social ostracization. He was once eating at a hot spot when someone at a table had a heart attack, causing Von Bulow to famously leap to his feet and declare, "It wasn't me. It wasn't me." Looking back at his celebrity clients, Dershowitz continues to maintain, OJ-wise, that the planting of blood evidence on a sock was the thing, even more so than the glove that didn't fit that led to the acquittal. He has also been more than open about how difficult a case it was to work on. "We did not have a dream team, we had a nightmare team. The lawyers did not get along." He has also frequently said that his biggest failure as a lawyer is that he was unable to get a new trial for Mike Tyson following his rape conviction. All in all, Dershowitz, who just published his 37th book, The Case Against Impeaching Trump, thinks he is misunderstood. "I'm seen by some as extreme because sometimes I state my views quite firmly, categorically, particularly on television, where nuance is difficult. You don't say."